Hello, hello, hello. I know it's been way too long since we have had any time together. A lot has happened in our life. Some of it was just things got busy, and you know, other things have happened, right? Good things and bad things. And honestly, to be real, I wasn't sure that. And I got it going on this other screen. I have to change things up for next week, but wasn't sure um, if anybody really would even know about this live stream. So um, if you're there, do me a favor, say hey. If you happen to see this at some point later, please feel free to comment. Um, and really working to get back into the groove here. I plan on making a commitment to be here on Wednesdays moving forward. Um, I looked and it looks like it's actually been about 3 months since my last show. So super sorry about that. Life has gone on. And I know you all, have had things going on for your lives as well. So um, you know, again, super sorry about just kind of literally like disappearing on something that was moving pretty well. But I'm back and trying to stay focused. I feel like I have a couple shows set up here for the next little while with maybe some plans on some topics to talk about. But I figured, let's see, it looks like somebody's here. Danny, hey man, how are you? Good to see you. I gotta go back and forth. I have a different setup, so still going at it, still on the same way of eating, maintaining my health, but just things got life happened, and so I fell out, but kind of have a plan here for the next couple of weeks. Want to just really this week was more like, hey, let's pop on and just ask for your forgiveness. Maybe talk a little bit about what's been going on, maybe get a little bit more into that next week. One week we're going to talk about my story. We're going to talk about the carnivore way of eating, and really kind of wrap up the month with how can I help you. Most of you may or may not know that it's been my goal. Hey, I'm exercising my right to bear arms today. It's been my goal to share my journey as far as my weight loss and overall health. And down. That's awesome, bro. But I'm down. That's incredible. That's 217, not 317. That's a lot of weight, bro. Incredible. Um, so, just like I said, what did I say? Oh, yeah, just wanted to kind of like spend today, saying I'm sorry for, just kind of bailing on everybody. That's what I was saying. So I kind of started out my journey, real life, like my YouTube channel actually started because Heartman Made, it was something that I was using to document things that I was making. Last name's Heartman, man-made items, Heartman made items, that kind of thing. Anyways, Heartman Made evolved during the pandemic, became a little bit of like picking and flipping, right? Showed some like garage sales and bins and stuff like that. That was kind of cool. Got into that, still do enjoy it. You can see bins behind me. Those are items I've listed on Marketplace and eBay. And then from there, in 2022, got into some health challenges, and so I decided to make some changes and worked to change my diet, reverse my diabetes, all of that. Give me one second here. Was in 46 pants, now 30. That's awesome. That's incredible. Nice work, bro. Good work. That's incredible. Um, so I'm so happy to hear that, man. Um, I started documenting that, started making diet changes, and Heartman Made became Heartman, making a difference every day. MADE, made, making a difference every day. And so wanted to work on pouring into other people, investing into other people, helping them on their journey. Um, real deal, real talk, right? Um, I have to get back in the gym. I've not been going to the gym really at all. And I know I've kind of had these talks in the past, and like I'm like as far as the gym is concerned, I'm just off the rails. I'm paying for a membership. I don't go. I've gone one time since the 13th of April. That's it. I'm being real, right? The Bible says, "Confess your faults one to another." This is all yours. I slowed down through the winter going to the gym. It was harder just to get into the to that mode. In November of last year, my neighbor, he turned 89 in January. Um, he got to a place in his health where he really couldn't take care of himself, but didn't want to go into a facility, and so I made a commitment to him in November after he came home from the hospital that I'd go over every morning and just make sure he was up and moving, alive, getting his medicine and getting his breakfast. Um, and I wanted to do that while he regained his strength, because he's always been, a very independent man. His wife passed away 5 years ago. Both of his kids have passed away from cancer, and so he's really been able to take care of himself. Well, the commitment to making his breakfast every day is still stood, and so since November, I've been going over every morning, and that was my gym time. And so rather than moving my schedule some, I didn't get that adjusted, and so um, it's excuses, right? Excuses are obstacles that we see when we take our eyes off the goal. And so that's exactly what I'm giving you right now is my barriers, my excuses. Um, and the reality is the goal's still there, and I need to get my eyes back on it because we can make adjustments and overcome obstacles, and they're no longer excuses. So go over there every morning, make his breakfast. I spend about a half an hour with him. Was trying to get out and go walking in the morning here, at least get that going, and didn't always do that. Give me 1 second. I'll take a drink of this water. Excuse me. Didn't always get that going. So that was through the winter why that happened, and then going to get back on track. The reality is once you get used to a pattern, or once you get used to, let me just look on YouTube real quick. David Canham, good to see you, my friend. Um, and so once you get into a pattern or a habit of doing things, it's easy to stay in that pattern or habit. That's why for so long, it was easy for me to go to the gym every morning because that was our pattern, that was our habit, that's what I was doing every day. And so I've broke from that for so long that that's not been my pattern. I haven't been doing that, and so I feel like it's been so long since I've had a show every day or every week, and so much has happened, and then I stop and I think, and I'm like, I guess it's not been that long, but the reality is, guys, the longer you stay away from something, the easier it is to stay away from it, and so just haven't gone to the gym, and then July the 13th. Yeah, we came home from the parade here in the next town over, and ultimately ended up going to the urgent care vet about 90 minutes away, and we lost our dog. So another just funk, another disappointment. I can't really go into all the details here right now because I'll literally probably come uncomposed, and I usually am a very emotional person, and I'm okay with that, but I've been kind of locking my emotions a little bit more, and maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. I don't know. Um, I think that at times my wife could use me to be a little bit more emotional, but it's just kind of how I'm dealing with it. Um, so that was another, kind of a hiccup. And then 3 weeks ago now, I guess it's 4 weeks ago now, um, we started fostering a puppy. Yeah, 14-week-old puppy, 13, 14 weeks. He's now like 17 weeks old. Um, and and so we went from a situation where we really couldn't leave our existing dog alone because her life had just changed after 6 or 8 years. Um, and so we were worried about her, and then now we bring this puppy in, and this puppy is now we're not leaving this puppy alone because we need to get it to a point where it's comfortable and quiet thing in a crate because we adopted the puppy. So he is no longer a foster dog. He's a real boy. He's become part of our family and adds a little bit of craziness to it. Let me look at the other thing here. Okay, we're good. And so that's just again, I've just given you a whole load of of excuses. Um, and so now we need to get back to the point where um, we're getting back on track and getting started. Um, we need to kind of draw a line in the sand and say, okay, this is do-over day. This is a new day one, and go from there. So Mrs. Hartman Maid and I have kind of talked, and we've decided that, and I'm going to have to change my routine again, but we've decided that I will personally take time to go to the gym in the morning um, after I've taken care of the neighbor, and then she'll go later in the day. And so one of us will be here to deal with the Hartman Made household, make sure everything's copacetic. So now we just have to put that plan into place, get it rolling. Another thing is we've been doing some vendor shows. Kind of really got back into making more things again, and so that's another excuse, another obstacle, another barrier. Um, in the meantime of when I've switched or my absence, my sabbatical, right, my disappearance, my vanishing, whatever you want to call it, my job has changed. So I in October of 21, I went to work for an RPO, a great company based out of Arizona. Um, Probably literally like the best job I ever had. Um, and that's no digs at any of my other jobs because I left a pretty good job to go there. Um, I worked for great people. I just didn't make great money, so I left to go to this other place. It was wonderful. Well, their business plan was not fail-proof, and so in August of 22, I was laid off. They actually, at this point now, have laid off all of their employees and now just have contractors, but they really have a very bare bones crew. Um, and so from there, I went to work as a contractor for my client from the RPO. Phenomenal opportunity. It was great working over there again. Nothing really changed. I didn't have any training because I just went back to work. Basically, I took 2 weeks of work off, went back to work, and I was doing the same thing. In April of 23, I was hired directly by the company rather than a contractor, so that was awesome. Um, and and then in June, so it was like a parent company that provided shared services. I don't know if you know what that means, but basically it's like there's four companies, and the parent company over all those four companies provides the recruiting um, services to each one through this parent company. Well, they decided that the parent company was no longer going to hold the shared services organization, so that was dissolved. And so now I work for one of those individual um, operating companies. And so a lot has changed. Um, and, just recently there was some talk about um, potentially having to go on site for a meeting. And so that's another new headache, another new um, question mark. But we'll work through that as we need to. Let me just look at again. I Next week I'm going to have a better setup. I'm going to have the YouTube behind here, so that I can see what's going on. But right now it's on the computer to my other side. Um, yes, you got that right, Danny. I need to refocus. I got this. I agree with you, and it's not impossible. I really haven't gone backwards. That's the blessing. I know. So my wife and I celebrated our 15th wedding anniversary, and so I took her out to a very nice steakhouse here locally, and all bets were off at that point. I feel bad because I went on this diet because I had to for my health. She went on it um, because she had to, because I was doing it, and it was just easier for us. And so she would always feel guilty when she would kind of step away from it, and I wouldn't. And so I decided on that day, one of my kind of gifts to her was, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. And so we actually we split it was like a 2 pound tomahawk steak. It was incredible. But it's crazy because you tell us it's a 2 pound steak. I feel like I've eaten bigger steaks here at home. Um, but it's just the way that it goes. And then we got their like specialty made mac and cheese, 100% not on plan, but 100% delicious. The bread was amazing. You got to remember, guys, it had been more than a year that I had eaten this stuff. Um, they brought us a flourless chocolate cake for dessert as kind of like a happy anniversary thing. And before we even, because I was like trying to take a picture of everything, kind of documenting our date. And before I realized I didn't take a picture of that cake, I had already eaten my half of that slice of cake. And it was so good. I love chocolate. If you don't know that about me, like that's definitely a weakness for me. And I found stevia-based chocolate that doesn't affect my diabetes. But I really have to be careful with that because I'll eat too much of it. Um, I really had good control at one point, and I do plan to get back there again. Um, I They even gave us like these little chocolate. I call them chocolate boobies. They were like little chocolate truffles. It was just good. All bets were off that day. I didn't feel any guilt. That was my first like full-fledged day in more than a year. I'm still wearing smaller pants. I didn't, lose my pant size. I didn't lose my shirt. Danny was saying he's down to a 40 or for 34 from a 46. I'm down to about a 38, and I have some 36s from a 52. I'm also down from a 4X to an extra large. And I have a couple shirts that are large, but I have a lot of progress. I've seen a lot of great things happen. It's just that I'm stuck, and I'm stuck because I'm not giving it the same intensity anymore. And so, by my hopes in this whole thing, right, by coming back in and hitting the show, kicking the show off again, and getting things moving, is that maybe this will help me get back to the place of the intensity that I needed before, so that I can again grab Mrs. Hartman-Maid's hand and say, all right, let's go. We got this. We're moving forward. Now, we've still gone for walks in the evening throughout the summer. Absolutely. And super bummed, just to note, super bummed that Friday is September 1st. Like, where did the summer go? We live in upstate New York, so sunshine and 90 or 80, 75 is good for us, but the beautiful days are moving on. And so, again, I was setting a goal because I felt like if I didn't set a goal, 41 or 40 by 40 got me to a great place. And so I was saying 41 by 41. And guys, I've not put any effort or energy toward that. Now, since I've weighed myself, the last time I weighed myself, it was down 9 pounds from the time before when I weighed myself. But reality is, when I was focusing on this thing, 9 pounds in a month was not out of the question. And when you got, a big stack of wood, so to speak, it's not hard to take a bunch of off that stack pretty quick. And so I do have to get back focused. I have to get my my train moving forward, and I'm hoping to get um, this accountability group back together so we can carry this train together, so that we can all see gains and progresses together. I'm just going to look over here again. Um, it looks like I have some people watching, but I only have a couple of commenters. So you guys you're there, and I really appreciate that. But you're not chatting it up. Um, you're leaving me hanging here. So yeah, I've kind of said everything I need to say. It's the last Wednesday night of September, or not September, of October. No, not October, of August. It's the last Wednesday night of August, and that means our midweek farmers market ends tonight. My wife and I, and the dogs, we try to go every year or every week. Most weeks they have some live music and whatnot, and try to get a walk around both of the ponds there. So I told her I was coming back on tonight, even though it's the last Wednesday night, because we do plan to go there. So I want to wrap it up within 30 minutes. I'm not going to try and take it for that full hour tonight. We're going to ease back into this thing. We're going to get it moving slowly, but I really, really, really hope you'll give me another chance. I think next week's video is like, give me one more shot, baby, or something like that. We're going to try this thing one more time. We're gonna kick it off, right? We're gonna get it moving, and hopefully get a bunch of you out there. I'm on a bodybuilding 12-week program. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's another thing. So my doctor before, he was also my kind of like my personal trainer and whatnot. Has had some things happen in his life, and he's basically just not existent for me anymore. He's no longer at the practice he was at. I would text him before, he would text me, and things just have happened, and that relationship's just kind of disintegrated, and that was another thing that helped me lose, or caused me to lose steam, because, and this is kind of, I guess, if you're going to take one thing away, is you have to do this for you. You have to motivate you. You have to count on you, right? And now I can do all things through Christ, right? And my faith and my hope is in the Lord Jesus Christ, and that's who gives me strength, the Bible says, is going to help me to do it. But I feel like I put too many eggs in that basket of my medical professional that was helping me get there. And honestly, this man changed my life. He gave me a shot at a new life. Literally changed everything for me, but I can't eliminate the point or the fact that I changed my life, and I don't need him to keep it changed. Although I am a needy person, I guess. I mean, I can be very independent, but like I tend to latch on sometimes, and that's, I think, what I did there. And so when I lost that connection, it really just kind of set me spiraled, right? It just kind of left me dizzy, dazed, and I guess I'm finally at the point where I'm just not going to let that stop me or hold me back. I'm gonna, just go forward, and then when I get there, right, when I make it, when things are going well, I can pat myself on the back because I did it, or I can thank my wife because she was there with me to help me get there. And there are very few relationships in this life that are long term, right? People are here for a reason, and they're here for sometimes a season. And but if you find yourself with a strong, solid relationship, like a marriage bond, like I have, that you're confident that is going to last, you're blessed. And so I know that the relationship I can count on, barring the Lord changing situations and relocating one of us to our eternal home, right? The relationship I can count on is that relationship. And so just all chips are into that, all money's on that, and we're just going to work hard together. As a firefighter, and if you've seen the movie Fireproof, right, a Christian movie based on it's marriages, but it's from a firefighter's perspective. It's never leave your partner. Um, and it's the idea that when you go into a working fire, into a building, you're going in as if you were blindfolded, and the eyes that you have are your hands, and the extension of your eyes are your partner's hands, and together you're moving forward, but you can't go on without your partner because you're taking away their eyes, okay, so to speak. You're leaving them stuck. And so my goal is in this then is to make sure through all of this I don't leave my partner, and my partner won't leave me. Together we are each other's eyes, we're each other's legs, we're each other's um, lungs, we are one, right? For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, right, to cleave to his wife. Two flesh becomes one, and we are one, and so we're going to work together to get there. And so really, I guess my focus now is just move forward, put all of my energy, my effort focusing on my ability to do it, the ability of encouraging my wife and her encouraging me, and then together getting to a strong place. So, guys, I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much for taking some time with me. I look forward to hopefully you giving me one more shot. And from here, the sky's the limit. We got this. I love you all. God bless you. Have a great night.